Yeah, okay. We should be live, which is cool, It's tight. Hey, my dashboard just refreshed. That's exactly what I wanted. Good job, dashboard. Good job. I've been listening to this tune for like 20 minutes, fucking hell. Right, come on, dashboard, please. Please, no. Technology, please don't do this to me. Ugh. Hey guys, hello. Am I well medicated today? I've only been given clearance in quotes to use paracetamol and ibuprofen, so that's what I'm on. I have not actually taken my 8 o'clock dose, so just bear with me a second. I'm just gonna mute my mic while I do that. Hi guys, thank you for reminding me to take my painkillers, Kurt. You are the real MVP. Again, I'm sorry for how tired I look and how gross I look because I'm in my bathrobe again, but getting dressed is a fucking ordeal. I do apologize, but we're just gonna have Gremlin Susie for a little while. I also haven't turned my fucking light on. Oh, Christ. Okay, we have a hat, so we have to rest. I mean, it's a clear lie, but I appreciate it, guys. Thank you. You had a lovely nap and wake up feeling revitalized. Your energy has been restored. Magic! I love naps. It's paracetamol! Okay, what should I do today? Let's do some more romancing of a cat. Who should I... Floofy Butt is heartbroken. Well, it's McMurphy. Yes, Mel, I am. It's sweltering in the mess tent, typical for me to get cook duty on the hottest day so far. I step out for a moment to try and catch some air. Thanks, Dan. Thank you for the belated birthday wish. I had a really good day yesterday. A really good day. So thank you everyone for who wished me happy birthday and tuned in and was just generally lovely to me. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. What's my French doing? Stop it, French. Psst. You sex those cats. Don't make me ban you, Stuart. I'm not sure if I really heard something or if the dehydration is getting to me. I take a swig from my water bottle. Hey, aren't you gonna share, Cara? Oh, McMurphy, was that you persisting? What are you suggesting, Cara? I only use the designated little... Wow, okay, litter areas, because I can't do it in my accent. Murph, you are incorrigible. You knew exactly what I meant. Come on, Cara, never mind all that. We have work to do. I am working. I'm supposed to be cooking for this evening. I mean, work for the adventuring variety? No, Mel, stop it. Oh, of course you do. Ah, come on. Don't be such a bore. I'm sorry, McMurphy, but I can't. I'm very busy here. It's going to take hours to defrost and braise this meat from the mainland. Well, if you come with me, you may end up providing a much-tasted dish in half the time. What do you say, Kara? You up for the crack? I did choose this game. I did choose this game. What are you saying? You mean I should just bunk off? By the way, I also got another game today, which I contemplated playing on stream, and I may do at some point, called Getting Over It. I'm going to lose my fucking mind playing that game. That's the spirit! Strip off your apron and let's hit the trail! But I can't just... What if someone comes looking for me? Leave him a note! Gone fishing! Evening, Stevie! Maybe it's the heat, but I'm overcome with a moment of madness. Oh shit! 1 second, mi amigos! I forgot to do my Twitch alert boops. So let me fix that real quick. Don't play that, I'll break the other arm. I had a brief go. I'm just gonna turn this down on my actual headset because if I have to hear the word meow one more time, I'll lose my mind. I had a brief go when I got it today, and I was like, I'm going to hurt something. Thanks for that host, Stevie! You the best. Okay, let me put my boops up. Oh, Twitch alerts, don't be a pain in the fucking ass, my dude. But yeah, I think it'd be a fun one to play. Obviously, it will never be a series. It's not something we're gonna sit and play for like weeks. But it would be like a fun one-off. Oh, I got the burps. Hey, thanks for that host, Will! I absolutely can ban you, Stuart. Just watch me. I have the tools. I don't know why my brain is being so shit today. I think it's because I am incredibly tired. Right. Well, okay then, you wild Irish rover. I'm all yours. Ah, now there's a thought. I'm kink-shaming this video game. Before I can answer, he's slunk into the thickening of the forest behind the clay cooking pits. I whip off my apron and follow behind. This is my kingdom, motherfuckers. Wait, Murph, it's too hot to run. Then we really ought to cool ourselves off, eh? He's led me up to the cliffs and without warning takes a running jump off the edge. I see him flying through the air and watch mesmerized as he cuts through the water. This was definitely a person before he was a cat, because cats, we fucking can't get a cat to do that. Oh no, Murphy, are you okay? Don't panic, I'm coming! I kick off my flip-flops and shorts and follow him into the water. I'm surprised at how shallow it is and that I'm easily able to stand. Murph, where are you? I frantically search about, fearing for his safety, and suddenly feel something brush against my legs, making me scream out loud. Oh my god. What's that? I look down into the clear water and see McMurphy speeding along the seabed like a shark, fast and sleek and suddenly breaking up through the surface with something in his mouth. McMurphy, you can swim? What on earth is that thing? Oh my, it's a fish. Hey, Code, how's it going? I can see he's smiling even with the sprat in the way. You can fish? He spits the fish back into the water. There is truly no end to my talents, Kara. You can say that again, but I have so many questions I don't even know where to start. Catch your breath, Kara. I know I'm exhilarating company, but you need to exercise a little bit of restraint, or you'll be swooning on me next. Relax. The salt water is very buoyant. I copy McMurphy and we both lie with our backs on the surface. It's very calming and tranquil, and I'm finally able to collect my thoughts. I realise I've not had this much clarity in a long time. This is so cool. Oh no, Trixie took me here first, calls it a ponder pool. Oh, can you all swim then? I thought cats... Before I can even finish my sentence, McMurphy cuts in. It's a common misconception that cats can't swim. As you can see, it's another thing we excel at. So humble too. As Nanny McMurphy used to say, if you got a trumpet, blow it. What about the fish? Where did they come from? There are no birds or fish on the island. It's one of the first things they tell you in orientation. That's because they don't know. Don't know what? Oh, it's better if I just show you. Come on, Cara, follow me. We swim for a while, with McMurphy leading the way with purpose, and then he stops. Well, notice anything interesting? Well, the water is much cooler and deeper here. Mm-hmm. Anything else? Can you feel anything? I stand perfectly still for a moment and begin to feel a strange sensation around my legs, like warm trickling under the water. He's peeing. McMurphy, are you peeing? Don't be so crude, Cara. It's the current. Look over there. I refocus my eyes until they see what I thought was a rock shadow. It's moving. It comes closer into focus and I realize that's a shoal of small fish darting in and out of one particular spot. What is that? I don't understand what I'm looking at. Isn't it enough to just see, Cara? To experience? Do you always have to understand everything? Well, yes, that's my job. It's who I am, McMurphy. I'm a scientist. It's in my DNA to seek to understand. That's annoying. Don't have capital N's that look like normal N's but big. Come on in, scientist. Let's take a closer look. We move closer to the area where the fish are gathered. I put my hand down and realize I can touch them and even pick them up, but something is stopping them from swimming further inland. Oh, no, sorry. McMurphy, we need to get going. I'm going to be in big trouble if I'm away for any longer. But thank you for showing me this. I'm definitely going to come back here to try to understand it. I wouldn't waste your time, Cara. It wouldn't be a waste. I'm committed to finding out all that He cuts across me as I'm speaking. I meant, coming back to this particular spot, the fishes won't be here. Oh, I see. It's only at certain times? In different locations. It changes all the time. There's no pattern to it either, so you just be sticking pins in maps, Cara. I brought you here because I saw them this morning. Chances are they'll be gone by this afternoon. The disappointment must be apparent on my face because McMurphy switches lanes super fast to distract me. Okay, Cara, it's time to strip off. Huh? That t-shirt would make a lovely net. Let's go fishing. Oh, I see. What do we do, guys? What do we do? Do we go fishing? Do we go home? I feel like we go fishing. Alright, Dan, you're very enthusiastic about that. I appreciate the enthusiasm. I'm a bit perturbed by it, but I appreciate it. Let's go fishing. I whip off my top and use it as a net to scoop up as many fish as possible. It's quite effective. Great idea, Murph. Now you can rustle up a tasty fish supper in no time at all, and you get to enjoy my company for an extra hour. Win-win, Cara! Okay, so now I have a little challenge for you. That, Cara, is music to my ears. There's little I like more than a gauntlet thrown. Well, it's hardly a gauntlet, more a brain teaser. How am I going to explain to the rest of my team this bountiful ocean offering? Why tell them anything at all? Because they're going to notice that we're eating something that wasn't on the delivery list or the new menu rota, and it tastes way too fresh for something recently defrosted. You worry far too much about things that really don't matter, Cara. I know he's right. I could do with loosening up a little, but this is a pretty big dilemma, really. Maybe I had to tell Professor Pauper about this. What's the harm? Mac has stopped splashing around and looks me squarely in the eyes. There would be harm, Cara. Trust me on that. Obviously, I don't mean I tell him about you or anything that would endanger any of us. Just that I noticed this shoal of fishes and I took some, end of. You really think that you could mention a phenomenon just like this and it would be the end of it? That you wouldn't start with putting all manner of investigations and disruptions in place? You're touchingly naive, my friend. I feel myself blush. I am being a bit naive, and I don't like the thought of lying. So what do you suggest then, if you know so much about everything? Give me a plausible story and I'll follow through. McMurphy lets out a wild howl and splashes water at me. Now that's what I like to hear, you impetuous daredevil, you. I splash him back and a furious water fight ensues. We're making such a ruckus, I'm amazed no one comes to check what's going on. After a good 10 minutes of laughter and play, we run out of steam and float in the buoyant, warm water. Let's hear it then, Oz. What's my cover story? It's a very simple case of brazen bluffing. Okay. Make a simple but delicious meal, and if anyone should ask where the fish came from, shrug your shoulders and ask the same question. Huh? It's all in the poker face. You remain completely impassive and ask the same question. Yeah, I wondered that too. Where did the fish come from? They're delicious. Really? Trust me, Cara, as a cat who is forever risking one of his 9, the simpler you keep it, the more they buy it. If I ask you where you got them from, you tell them the fridge. Simple. I feel quite giddy at the prospect of getting away with a ruse. Alright, Muff, let's gather the supper. We have an abundance in no time, and I haul my catch back to the kitchen in good time to make a tasty meal for everyone, and a little extra for my feline pals. If I lie, I might get shot again, I know. I'm worried about getting murdered, getting moidened. Okay. Right, let's do some research today. Research 6. Follicle miracle. It's time for some serious testing in the labs. I'm intrigued to see what kind of work the professor has up his sleeve. My stomach is queasy. I really don't want to do this. It's strange. I'm used to treating subjects with medication and injections, but something about this doesn't feel right. Hello, you. I smile at the gentle cat on the table in front of me. I look at the syringe in my hand. I turn to the professor. What are we testing for with these meds again? He looks up from his desk. Is there a problem, Jennifer? I've already told you it's supposed to stimulate hair growth. Why do we need to stimulate hair growth? Why, indeed. However, ours is not to question why, Jennifer. The likes of you and I perform the tasks set out by the people who pay our wages. Such is life, eh? Whoops, clicked out the window again. Good at that. The professor returns to his work and I understand the conversation is over. I look back at the little cat. His name is Smokey. He's a Lekoi cat with very short, fine hair. A real sweetie. I suppose the professor is right. This is just my job. And although I feel terrible, I find a way to ignore the pangs of guilt and inject Smokey with the medication. He squeals, but it's over quickly and he can return to his cage. How long does this usually take? The professor looks up again, slightly irritated. I don't know, Jennifer, but you're being paid to find that out, aren't you, my dear? Oh, yes, of course. I make a note of the time and observe the cat. After 5 minutes, there's no noticeable change. 10 minutes, still no change. After half an hour, I think I notice his hair looks a little different, but I suspect my eyes are playing tricks on me. I think we are developing a cat-based biological weapon. 1 hour in and all of a sudden I can see the hair is visibly longer and seems to be continuing to grow. I must say I'm very impressed and a little confused. I decide to take a coffee break. Smokey seems content to nap for a while. Can I get you a cup of coffee, Professor? Oh no, I don't know how you can tolerate the foul stuff they brew up in the mess tent. I have my thermos of coffee here, thank you. Fair enough, I'll be back in a bit. I've only been gone for 10 minutes at the most, but as I enter with my mug of coffee, I instantly notice the drama taking place in Smokey's cage. I find it hard to stifle a laugh. Oh my goodness! Goodness! Professor, have you seen this? The professor looks up, exasperated by another interruption, but then he notices the cage. Oh dear, well don't just stand there, Yennefer, get him out! I open the front of the cage and pull out the large hairball that Smokey has turned into. His fur tumbles over my arm as I cradle the bewildered cat. Well, I never. Very interesting, isn't it, Yennefer? I think it's still growing, Professor. I do believe you're right. Perhaps we should consider the clippers. The professor hands me a small set of silver electric clippers, and I immediately begin using them on the ever-expanding Smokey. I do not know what's wrong with me today. I cannot use my face region. I continue to shave for the next 15 minutes until he finally seems to run out of fur. My, that's a lot of hair. We both stand staring at the pile of fur at our feet. Just keep a small amount for testing and put the rest of it out the back. Mora can dispose of later. Mora? Mrs. Marigold. Excellent work today, Yennefer. Most interesting findings. Thank you, sir. Although the results had nothing to do with me, I'm left feeling a tad guilty about Smokey's ordeal. As I place him back in his cage, I check for any signs of trauma, and when satisfied he's okay, I awkwardly take my leave. Yes! New unlocks. Hey, we're 12.5% of the way to an antidote. Let's do some recon today. Snoots! Blah 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 blah. Yennefer, are you still sleeping? You really ought to be awake by now. Snooty Booty, are you okay? What are you doing in my tent? Oh, this lazing about is very bad for your complexion, to say nothing about the dragging effects on the delicate tissue around the eyes. Is there something I can help you with? Possibly. I have something I want you to look at. Right now? What time is it? Time you are active. Come along. Well, at least let me get ready. Very well. Snooty Booty sits down and starts grooming herself. After a moment, she looks up again. Why aren't you ready yet? Can you leave the tent so that I can get dressed? For goodness sake. Snooty Booty rolls her eyes and walks out. I get dressed resignedly and follow her. What do you think? What do you think this is? I'm intrigued. We are on the beach, staring at a partially buried bottle sealed inside a plastic bag. It looks as though it is only recently washed up. Well, there's really only one way to find out. I pull the bottle out of the sand. It has some kind of document or note in the bag, along with the bottle. So what is that saying? Read it to me. It's a good thing I'm just as curious as Snooty, or I would be feeling a lot more irritable by now. I carefully unseal the bag and unfold the paper. I read the note out loud. Initial tests on the most recent formula are encouraging. Subjects 6 through 18 appear visibly younger. Moderate to severe side effects noted, including increased hair growth and marked mood alteration. Subjects 1 through 5 had major complications, some new, small tumours, skin irritation, partial blindness, and memory loss. We need you to look into this, check for contaminants, and continue to iterate on the formula. Appeared visibly younger? Snooty Booty, is that the most important thing you've gathered from this report? You're quite right, Jennifer. We ought not to trust it. That note could have been written by anyone. We shall conduct our own experiment. Apply the cream to my skin. Have you lost your mind, Snooty Booty? Did you not hear what I read out? Tumors, blindness, memory loss? Statistics bore me. You should know that by now. Let's live a little. I'm willing to take the risk in the name of science. No, we're not taking any risks, Snooty Booty. You wait here while I go and get my kit bag from the lab. Let's see if we can't work out what this stuff is made of. I was hoping the lab would be free, but the professor is in here making some notes. Ow! Fuck! Hello, Jennifer. I thought you were taking a day off from the lab today. Yes, I am, Professor. I just wanted to check something. I can't take the test equipment away without Professor getting suspicious. I'll have to come up with some kind of excuse. Let's make an excuse. Well, I wanted to get ahead on some of the field work. There are some samples I found that I think could be useful. I pick up the field kit bag. Pauper looks up from his work. Oh, what sort of samples? I have to make this believable, but also not invite no other questions. The samples are fecal. Fecal? Yes, a large pusa. It has rather interesting properties. Jolly good, off you go then. Nailed it. I take the bag and leave. As I approach the beach, it becomes clear Snooty Booty has managed to break into the ointment. She appears to have spilled some and is now busy rolling around in it. Snooty Booty, what were you thinking? This could be very dangerous. The only danger here is this ghastly sand sticking into my delicate skin. Do help me get rid of it, Jennifer. I tried to wipe the sand off, but it's stuck like glue. Underneath the layer of sand, I can see her skin is very pink. There's no time to lose. I pick her up and run to the ocean, trying to use the seawater to clean off as much of the ointment as I can. Put me down! What on earth? I have never been so humiliated in my life! She twists out of my grip and scampers off in a huff. I think I've got it all off, so I leave her to it. Now, back to the samples. There's not much I can do here on the beach, so I'll just have to wait until Professor Purrfect is finished in the lab. Well, that was quick. As luck would have it, the professor needed to retire to his tent earlier than usual. He has to read some research papers that arrived from the mainland this morning. So now, I can continue looking into this ointment. I begin by testing the substances for several common compounds found in cosmetics, but it's negative for all of them. I widen the test for other organic compounds. I get a match. About 30% of the ointment is cat saliva? If they're using saliva from the cats on the island, they could be infecting all their test subjects with catification. Where have these other side effects come from? I run the ointment again, this time looking for known pharmaceuticals. Before I can get the results back, Snooty Booty comes trotting in. I just thought you should know that the security guard is coming this way. You should make yourself scarce before he arrives. Not that I care what happens to you after you threw me in the ocean. I've no time to finish this experiment now, but I will work on it later in the privacy of my tent. I take my things and run before Zane arrives. Okay, now we should sleep. You had a lovely nap and wake up feeling revitalized. You want to do through the sword? Won't it? Oh, excuse me. Do. Okay. I'll do some more recon. I want to find out that ointment is, yo. Recon 10! I hear my catalog beeping. I presume it's the professor. I tumble out of bed, half asleep, and fumble around looking for the device. I look at the screen, my eyes struggling to focus. The message isn't from the professor at all. There's no contact information. Messages. Unknown number. Come outside. Who is this? Come outside. They obviously aren't going to respond to my question. Should I do as the message tells me? Should we go outside? I mean, I'm going to go outside. I just want to ask you guys first. So if I do go outside and die, and you guys said I should go outside, I can blame you and not me. Y'all, I have something in my sling that's fucking stabbing me. I think it's a crumb, because I'm gross. Let's go outside. Yeah. My curiosity is roused. I have a feeling there's something important to learn from this stranger, so I throw on my clothes and crawl out of my tent. I don't see anything out of the ordinary. Anyone out here? My catalogue beeps again. Walk to the edge of the forest. I'm not going any further until you tell me who you are. Walk to the edge of the forest. No! Walk to the edge of the forest. Walk to the edge of the forest. Walk to the edge of the forest. Stop it! By now I realize I have walked to the edge of the forest. At the edge of the forest I see something on the ground. As I get closer, it becomes clear that it's a small posy of flowers. I gingerly pick them up and notice that several of the flower heads are missing. My catalogue beeps again. Follow the petals. And that's when I see the trail of little orange petals, the same colour as the bouquet I'm holding. Well, I've come this far, no turning back now. I begin to walk. I'm nervous, so I call out, "Hello?" No answer. Louder this time. "Hello?" "Hello?" Oh, fuck. "Hello? Who's that?"
Who goes there?
Major, is that you? Floofybutt?
I really wish you wouldn't call me that, human. What on earth do you think you're playing at? Cavorting around the forest in the dead of night, causing a ruckus.
Oh, Major, you don't know how pleased I am to see you. I need your help.
And this can't wait until a civilized hour?
I'm afraid it can't. I'm not the one instigating this. I've been getting messages from an anonymous source, asking me to follow them into the forest. Look, they've left this trail.
Ah, Calendula maritima, marigolds, herb of the sun. They're said to represent creativity, though some believe them to be symbols of cruelty and grief.
Your knowledge is always so impressive, but I have to say on this occasion, it's not very comforting. Floofybutt goes striding off with purpose.
Come along then, Yennefer. Are we going to follow this trail or not?
I shuffle awkwardly behind him.
Before the sun comes up, eh?
We continue on for a short while and notice that the petals are getting more sparse. It's becoming more difficult to see them until eventually they seem to run out and we find ourselves at a small clearing.
Well, it appears that someone's been playing a joke on you, Yennefer.
I sadly agree. This has been nothing but a wild goose chase. Seems so, Major. I'm sorry for dragging you into this. Let's get back to our beds before we waste any more precious snooze time on this fool. I turn to Floofybutt and notice that his back is arched and his fur is puffed up, making him look even more floofy than usual. Something wrong, Major?
You tell me, human. Does that pile of rocks look suspicious to you?
Amongst myriad rock piles, I notice a small, contrived-looking cairn. Floofybutt's right. It looks far from natural. That looks to me like it's asking to be inspected, Major.
We'll get to it, Yennefer. You're the one with the thongs. I'm scared.
I begin to dismantle the small mound, rock by rock. It's not until the foundation stone is removed that we find a manila envelope. Major, look, it's a letter.
Looks rather large for a letter, my dear. I think you ought to open it.
Here or back at base?
Having got you this far, I think it's only fair that I have an equal share of the spoils.
Spoils? Yes, perhaps we should look right now, Major. As I'm speaking, I've torn into the envelope.
Well, out with it.
It looks like drawings.
What sort of drawings?
I'm not sure, but they look quite old. Antique, even.
But do they have value, human?
Probably to someone. They appear to be sketches of people here on the island, but I don't recognize anyone. Why would someone lead me to these?
How do you know you're meant to find them?
Because we followed a trail and it led us here.
Actually, the trail ended a while back. This could be a mere coincidence. Hardly see the intrigue in a few old scribbles. They show no artistic flair at all.
Even so, I'm going to hang on to these to see if they prove relevant to whatever mystery is unfolding here on this island. Floofybutt rolls his eyes.
You really ought to focus more on the clues that matter, instead of running around in the middle of the night on a wild goose chasers. Let's head back before anybody discovers you're missing.
Yeah, right? So I was thinking that the cats that we can talk to right now used to be people, right? And they got catified. I definitely feel like McMurphy was a catified person. But yeah, they keep calling you human, which is weird. I rolled the drawings up and tucked them into my waistband. I will study them when I have more time. I think Floofybutt is probably right, but I don't want to miss a trick. Get some rest now, Yennefer. Finally, a sensible suggestion. I head after Floofybutt, struggling to keep up. I really need some sleep. I have no idea what this game is so far. It's fucking wild. Okay, so we've done our recon for the day. No! I guess this is the McMurphy run. It's too beautiful a day to be slaving in a hot lab, so when Murph invited me for a stroll it was easy to say yes. Not that I'd need much incentive to spend much time with him. He's very engaging company. Lady, he's a cat. We've come to my favourite spots, where the cliffs sweep upwards above the blue water. Suddenly, without any warning, McMurphy plunges over the top of the towering rocks. I run to the cliff's edge with my heart in my mouth to see what's happened. And there's a sight I still haven't got used to. He's in the water, more otter than cat, waving me to follow. Jump, Cara, jump! Sure, the water's grand! McMurphy! I'm shocked by the shrillness of my voice. I hadn't intended it to be quite such a shriek. I was aiming for stern admonishment. That's so dangerous. You could do yourself serious injury or worse from such a height. Ah, pish. Come on, Cora. You won't get to see the little surprise I have in store. You've already surprised me enough for one day. Huh, which one of us is meant to be the pussy? Game. At this, I'm filled with an indignance that takes over my body, and before I know it, I'm halfway between ledge and water, bracing for impact. This way! I'm still catching my breath as McMurphy's head disappears under the surface. My mind is saying, no, this is ridiculous. Get back to this island. Get back to land this instant. Fucking hell, I can't read. Blech. But my body is following the Irish cat. My eyes take a moment to adjust, but when they do, I can hardly believe what I'm looking at. It's a ship. As we approach from the stern, it looks pretty much intact. I can see the name on the rear port side, and though faded and worn away in parts, the words are unmistakable. Kitty's Desire. My head is swimming due to the excitement and lack of oxygen. I flounder to the surface to catch my breath. Kitty's Desire? I feel like I know that name. Where's what from? That my mind's telling me no, but my body's telling me yes. It's R. Kelly's Bump and Grind. McMurphy eventually bobs up to join me on the surface. Surprised? A shipwreck? Here. This is a very old island, Kara. What has happened here? But how did a ship even get here before the path was made? Hey, don't ask me, Kara. I'm just in it for the grog. It went down with over 200 souls. Oh shit. McMurphy smiles and dives back into the murky depths. I follow a flailing flesh bag in comparison to Murphy's sleek figure. I try to get a closer look at the wreckage. It's a big ship, likely a trading vessel judging from the size. It's hard to tell how old it is, but it certainly isn't modern. Maybe 18th to 19th century. When we enter the ship from a huge hole in the stern, I realise that a lot of the vessel is actually on land, and it's obvious that it ran ashore after it was damaged at sea. There's not much time to ponder the mechanics of what happened, as McMurphy's tugging at my t-shirt with his right paw, while gesturing it with his other paw outstretched, to a cabin he wants me to enter. Whoa! Whoa! No! No! I'm grateful for the air trapped inside and gasp for breath. Here, Cora! Look! Hang on, let me catch my... But he has already ducked into the next cell. How is he not out of breath? I realise his ability to swim underwater is unusually strong, but he barely breaks the surface at all. Oh, they're underwater. Okay. In here! Through the hole! He sounds really excited, and as I enter I see why. There, in the centre of the cabin, is a chest. It's wedged between the wall and a surprisingly well-preserved writing desk, the only thing preventing it from falling and being buried in the sea. A treasure chest! I sound like a giddy child and feel embarrassed, but McMurphy joins in my glee, and suddenly we're cheering and laughing together. Go on then, open it, Cora! Okay! What are you waiting for? The key? Ah, does it need one? Well, of course it does, Murph. It's a locked treasure chest. Can you not just break the lock? Who do you think I am, Houdini? I don't know about that, but I do know you're a very clever scientist whose thirst for knowledge matches my thirst for grog, so you go get yours, and I'll get mine. The moggy grins before darting into the next cabin, and I hear the familiar clinking of bottles shortly after. I decide to try the lock anyway, while McMurphy is getting his. I look around for anything I could lever it with, and I'm disappointed. Everything except the chest and desk must have been washed away a long time ago. We'll have to come back with some tools to tackle that lock, Murph. There comes no response. McMurphy is obviously still busy with his looting and pillaging, so I decide to swim to the beach to get a better look at this wreck from land. When I can take in the scene properly, I can make out what looks like another large ship just a bit further down the beach. I can hardly believe what I'm seeing. One huge sea vessel finding its way to this island is strange enough, but two meeting the same unhappy fate is more than my brain can process. The proximity of the pair would suggest a collision of some kind. Possibly the second vessel could have been a pirate ship. Maybe it was attacking the merchant vessel. I get the feeling I'm looking at the conclusion of a very interesting story here. I wonder why Professor Pauper didn't tell me about it. Oh, sorry. Obviously, he must be aware of the two vessels. My nose for intrigue has started to twitch, and I'm burning to know more. I decide to take some of the debris, splinters, and small chunks of metal and pocket it for later analysis in the lab. When I'm satisfied that I've thoroughly combed the beach for specimens and have salvaged anything of interest, I realise that I haven't seen McMurphy for quite a while. My heart stops and the hairs on my neck stand on end. How can I have been so wrapped up in my work that I neglected to keep an eye on my friend? McMurphy? I'm met with silence and still water. I run back towards Kitty's Desire, my heart thumping in my chest. Oh my god! Sorry. I can't stop fucking yawning. Oh, I'm so tired. McMurphy! I jump in the sea and swim back to the stern of the ship. There doesn't seem to be any life around here. I break through the surface with the choke and try to call out again, but my throat is hoarse and full of salt water. Where? I catch sight of a shadow out the corner of my eye crawling along the seabed. I dive under to get a better look and see instantly that it's the Irish cat, stalking and prowling as if he were on land. I quickly grab him by the scruff of the neck and drag him back to shore. McMurphy, you loon, what on earth were you playing at? I catch my breath and check on him, but he's happily rolling on his back in the sand. Me? I was having a grand time until you manhandled me with those big meaty paws of yours. Do we let him off with it, or do we like, yo, you can't fucking do that, I thought you died. Hi, Pup! Which one do we do? Do we shout at him? Do we let him chill? Are we being, like, paranoid, or do we have a case here? Ow. Gong of the microphone. Shout at the cat. Okay, let's shout at him. You, what? Having a what? Calm down, Cora. You look like you're gonna pop. You've been under the water for ages. I didn't see you come up for air once. I've been blessed with fantastic breathing apparatus. But I didn't know that, did I? You were worried about me? Oh, Cora, now that is very touching indeed. I feel like a damsel in distress, rescued by our charming... I didn't allow him to finish his sentence. You may think you're very clever and funny, but let me assure you that no one else here is laughing. Jumping off cliffs without warning and drinking while you're swimming? Not very clever at all. I wasn't drinking while I was swimming. That would be impossible. I know, I tried. The more cross I am, it seems, the more amusing McMurphy finds it. You may not realise it, mister, but I have a duty of care towards you, all of you cats. So, if something happens to me, you're afraid you'll get into trouble. Oh, and there was me thinking you care for me because you like me. He's deliberately turning this around and it infuriates me further. Stop being so manipulative. You know how much I care for you, of course I do, but you can be very tricky too, you know. Shall we open this? He's reached over to a bottle of grog he's taken from the wreck. You look like you could use something to take the edge off. No, McMurphy, I do not want any of that, thank you very much. So, what is it that you do want, Cora? He flashes me a raffish grin. I want you to stop being quite so reckless. You gave me a heart attack. Well, as much as your heart is of considerable concern to me, Cora, I'm afraid I can't promise to stop being what I am. It's like asking the wind to stop blowing. The wind does stop blowing sometimes. He lets out a long laugh. You really are a scientist, Cora. Nothing will ever change that, eh? I understand what he's saying. I need to allow him to do his own thing. Okay, come on then. Let's start heading back. Actually, Cora, you go on ahead. I'll catch up with you later. He winks, and I am in no doubt as to what he wants to do for the rest of the day. Fucking cat. Romance again! Who's this mystery cat? Yeah, the physics of this place eludes me. As the sun is going down, I decide to retreat into my tent for the night. When I undo the flap, I see McMurphy curled up asleep on my pillow. McMurphy, you're gonna get fur all over everything. Oh, hi there, Cara. You're back late, you rapscallion. Why are you in my bed? Ah, come on now. We both knew on getting to your bed eventually, didn't we? First of all, game. First of all. My hand reaches for the spray bottle, but McMurphy throws up his paws defensively. I'm an unarmed cop, Cara, and I actually came to give you something for good behaviour. Don't make me send it back now. Give me something? What? Ah, sure, now you're listening. I found something that might just interest you. If it's more of that grog, McMurphy, I can assure you I'm not interested in the slightest. I sit on the edge of my bunk and push him off my pillow, but I allow him to stay on the bed. As he moves reluctantly aside, I can see a black corner poking out from under my blanket. What's that? Why don't you take a look? I am skeptically, nervous of what he's roping me into now. Tell me what it is first. Ah, will you just pick it up, Cora? It won't bite. I carefully reach for it and realise it's a small leather book, beautifully aged and yet seems to be in good condition. I open it as gently as I can for fear that it might turn into ash in my hands. On the first page, smudged and faded but not destroyed by time or water, are the words Captain's Log. Captain's Log. Stardate 4627.83. Stream got fucking weird when I played a cat sim. I can't stop myself from gasping out loud. Oh, Murph! Where? How did you find this? There's a lot you can find at the bottom of a bottle. Or 12. Are you impressed? Impressed? Speechless! I could kiss your furry head. Well, don't let me stand in the way of you and your passion. I hardly notice he's still speaking as I've begun trying to decipher the entries, and I'm instantly engrossed. 1789. The men are getting restless. I begin to fear for the continued safe running of this vessel, my vessel, of which they are in mind to take ownership, if my captain's instincts serve me right. Are you listening? Sorry, what? I said, maybe I should leave you to it then. Yes, no, wait, McMurphy, tell me where you really got this from. Was it the treasure chest? Now, Cara, would you believe it? That thing was full of nothing but sand and salt water. That bit of treasure on the other hand, I found it at the bottom of one of my crates of grog, hidden in between the bottles. But this belongs to a captain. Why would it be in with the crew's provisions? I'll let you figure that one out, Brainiac. Think of it as a puzzle to keep you amused on your cold, lonely nights. McMurphy smirks and saunters out of my tent. Yes. Okay, let's have a rest. Now let me see. Is that everything I need? I refer to my mum's recipe. Nana's original granola, amended by Mum. Large rolled oats, 4 mugs, pumpkin seeds, half a mug, sesame seeds, half a mug, sunflower seeds, half a mug, walnuts, roughly chopped, handful, flaked almonds, half a mug, pecans, roughly chopped, handful, dried apricots, roughly chopped, handful, dried cherries or cranberries, half a mug, banana chips, half a mug, sunflower oil, 2 tablespoons, cinnamon, 1 teaspoon, salt, 1 pinch, honey, 4 tablespoons, coconut shavings to garnish. That sounds good, actually. Oh wait, did I forget to order the coconut? I rummage about in the supply box that arrived this morning until my hands find the bag they're searching for. Phew! Coconut shavings are a necessity. Wait, even if I had forgotten them, I'm on an island with an abundance of fresh coconuts. Still getting used to island life. I've set the oven to 150 degrees Celsius and leave it to heat up while I measure out the rolled oats. I've quadrupled the quantities so that hopefully it will last the whole summer. It seems vast compared to how much I make at home, but it would be disastrous if I ran out. Homemade granola is an absolute essential. No, we haven't been killed yet. Kurt, we call them pecans, not pecans like you do in the US. Pecan nuts. Pecans. I mix the dry ingredients, oats, nuts, seeds and spices, together in a large bowl, and then I add the wet honey and sunflower oil to form a golden moist consistency. I've actually added a splash more oil than suggested. The mixture was feeling a bit drier than usual. Next, I spread it evenly on a baking tray lined with parchment, partly to save the washing up, and whack it in the oven for 20 to 30 minutes, checking often because the seeds tend to burn quicker than I expect. Look, Kurt, like, I don't know how to explain it to you, but I'm English, so I know how to pronounce other people's words better than other people. Come on, you know this. But yeah, it's always weird to me that Americans call them pecans. Because it's like you're putting on an accent. Oh, it's a pecan. Pecans. But yeah, no one outside of the US calls them pecans. The smell always drives me crazy. Toasty, warm, homey. I miss my mum. Once done, I add the fruit as it dries and cools and put it into several large glass storage jars, being sure to stuff fistfuls into my mouth as I do. The Dutch pronunciation is basically pecan. Emphasis on the pay. Oh. Right? It sounds like Americans trying to be like posh. Oh, let me just make a pecan pie. Nah, it's pecan pie. Look at that star, and now take yourself 1,000 miles beyond it and tell me what you see. I laugh as McMurphy passes me the bottle. I take a swig before replying. McMurphy, what are you talking about? Just do it, Cora. That big shiny one way up there. Go 1,000 miles beyond and tell me what you get to. I smile. I'm partying on Venus. We haven't died yet, Lynette. Oh, yeah? There's so many goddesses here. McMurphy, they're all naked. You should see this. Hey, canon, queer as shit. Lady character. Yeah. The laughing stops, or maybe it was only in my head to begin with. I look down at the fluffy cat who seems far from his usual self. You okay, kitty cat? I think there's a big pub up in that sky. McMurphy grins and closes his eyes. And there I am, my big human toes warming by the fireplace, and my long hair is the same dark golden colour as the ale I have in my mind end. There's singing, there's lots of it, and people dancing all around. Those can't find space to dance on the floor, dance on the tables, naturally. There's an old sky pirate in the corner, telling his stories to anyone who will listen of the time he sailed to Jupiter or Mars, and you're there too, of course. You sat right next to me, with unlimited drinks because we're famous in these parts. We're practically royalty. Ale, stout, beer, whiskey too, they just keep coming. When it gets dark and the place is quiet, we sneak out back to the beer garden. There's a clear view of Earth from where we're just sitting. We don't miss it. McMurphy spits. We talk about our adventures, about how we sailed off this damn island, and how the ship became airborne. We talk about how we fought the big-breasted, bloodthirsty alien wenches of the Emerald Star, and how we had to charm our way out of the space slug's lair, and I reckon we'd have a lot of fun. Of course, you won't be able to keep your paws off me. You'll be begging for a kiss and I'll be saying, "Nah, Kyra, I'm not a piece of meat, you know." And you'll be saying, "Oh, McMurphy, please, just one of your world-famous kisses, the fancy French kind." And I'd be saying, "Please, Kyra, control yourself." I don't know where my voice went then, whatever. I start snickering again. What are you laughing at? You? Are you trying to say that you won't be all over me if I was a human? Human? Of course I wouldn't. Ugh, now don't be mean. You'd be the one begging me for a kiss. What on earth gives you that idea? Ah, top of the morning, Cara. I love you so much to be sure. Give me a smack up, Agora. That is so offensive. I stopped laughing. I went a little too far there. I'm sorry. McMurphy lets out a wry smile. Well, maybe I will try to steal a little kiss. Who could blame me? You wouldn't get one. McMurphy's smile disappears. You know something, Cora? Huh? I think I should just come out and say it. I like his little arms. His little arms are so fucking cute, you guys. They're adorable. Look at them. Say what? You're alright. There's a pause. Not an uncomfortable pause, just a slightly confusing one. You're alright, too. McMurphy is gazing at the stars. I don't know what I'm doing. It's a strange feeling. I'm used to being a step ahead of everybody. Well, 2 steps ahead of you. Hey, don't be rude, Murph. I laugh. McMurphy grins. This feeling, hello, isn't new to me, but I'm still not sure what it is. All I know is that you get me in a way that no one has before, and I get you too, even if you don't care to admit it. I guess it's time to let the cat out of the bag. Without thinking, I look around. I'm so used to bagging and unbagging cats for my work that I take him literally, but his expression stops me from reacting. I've become attached to you in these last few weeks. You have captured my heart, and I don't want to be without you, Kara. Well, we've got to do it, because I can't break his heart. Wow. I wasn't expecting that, McMurphy. I haven't had so much fun, felt so free, or been so happy as the time I've spent with you. I don't think I'd care to be without you either. You have my heart. To my surprise, McMurphy looks visibly relieved. Well, Kara, I look forward to many more adventures with you. I have just romanced a cat. Don't quite know how to feel about that, but I've romanced a cat. Just proclaimed my undying love for a cat. I love video games. Calling pizza right now. Let's check up on the cat. I'm worried about Socks. None of the treatments so far seem to be clearing his wound. Cleaning the area with saline solution seemed to do the trick at first, but after a few days the site got too sore to touch, even with the soft cotton pad. I'm not seeing any positive results. I decided to swallow my doubts and use cream 116. I'm worried that I should have stuck with my gut feeling and not used the cream because now it's even worse, and I've exhausted my options. How best to proceed? Oh my god, but if that cream is that stuff that fucking Snooty Booty's been rolling around in. I decide to ask the professor for his advice. Sorry to disturb you, sir, but I need your advice on Socks. Send pic, please. I snap a picture of my catalogue and send it to the professor. Yes, that does look nasty. Have you tried cream 116? Stage 1 protocol was used first, cleaning it with saline solution, etc. But I've tried the cream since. It's still inflamed. Persevere with cream. Takes a while, but will pay off. I feel doubtful, but resign myself to the professor's seniority. If unsatisfied, try steroid formula in fridge. Red bag. I rummage around in the fridge until I find the red bag behind a box of vitamin supplements. Got it. Thank you for your help, sir. I pour the milk into a small bowl and am relieved that Socks seems to like it. I sit with him as he laps it up and keep an eye on him for a while. After about an hour, I'm satisfied that he's sleeping happily and that all his vital stats are normal. I've come to the forest to gather my thoughts. This morning, I noticed another change in my appearance. Up until now, it's been easy to cover up my transition. I just had to keep on top of removing the excess body hair. Even the stub of a tail that appeared a few days ago hasn't been a problem. Who'd see it? But this new development is definitely a turning point. How am I going to explain the fact that my pupils have turned into vertical slits? Well, simple, you've become a witcher. That's easy. Vitamin! Not vitamin, it's vitamin. Let me just do a little. It's a beautiful night, and McMurphy and I are lying on the sand by the old shipwrecks, relaxed in the way that only cats can be. When I remember back to all the anxiety and stress I used to live with, the endless hours fretting over the antidote research, it makes my fur stand up. I thought our lives depended upon it. It was my love for McMurphy that finally got me to see sense. Why was I so desperate to make him the same as me? Hadn't I fallen for him the way he was? So I decided to turn it on its head and become like him. I lose track after 30. We're laying out under the stars. I can't help smiling to myself when I remember how cold I used to think it was at night. Mac used to rib me for my whining. Now here I am, as snug as can be, counting the stars with the cat I love more than anything else in the world. You see, the trouble is, Cara, you're still thinking like a scientist. What do you mean? So, when you count the stars, you begin at 1 and assume you're going to keep chatting numbers until you've quantified the whole entire galaxy. He laughs until his eyes twinkle with moisture. Oh yeah? Go on then. Murph the Wise, enlighten me on a better way of counting. So, if you ask me how many stars there are, I'll take an overall squint at the sky, judge how cloudy or clear it is, and decide if there's enough light to hunt. Not too much is the right amount for that, by the way, or too little light for a snooze. Best when it's bright, or just enough to steal a kiss from your sweetheart. And judging by this sky tonight... He nuzzles into my fur, and I'm the happiest cat in the universe. What the fuck? Guys, what the fuck? What? Okay, let's play a dude this time. Let's be this guy. What name can we give him? Philip? Christopher! Got it. Christopher. What if Yennefer becomes one of the romanceable cats? Paul. Oh, Mel, that's good. I will remember that one. Okay, oh shit. Ah, shit. That's a bike club window. That's not... Rip. Okay, it's this dialogue again. Blah, blah, blah. This dude. No, Mel, that one's great. I'm gonna use that for one of the other dudes. Since I've rapidly run out of ladies because one of them got fucking shot and the other one is now a cat. Okay. Blah blah blah. Blah blah blah. Blah blah. Let's have water. There are natural springs all over the island, but we have the bottled kind too. A bottle of water would be great. I'm not so keen to start drinking water from natural water sources until I'm sure that they're not being used as cat urinals. We spend the next hour going through my kit, all the typical stuff, blah blah bleep. Boop, beep, boop, 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 beep, boop. Okay, unpacking. Previous journal. Okay, doing that one, blah bleep. Cat stealing the journal. Chase the cat. Trixie. Hiss Marigold. There's no point in purposely getting yourself shot. There I am! Holy shit. Guys, wait a minute. I'm just gonna hide myself. Yennefer's here!
Hello, can you hear me?
Are you okay?
Here we go again.
Move back a bit. Let him breathe. Has it been bitten? The Sphinx cat is standing over me, staring as I open my eyes.
Yeah, it's definitely bitten. Look at its hand.
Yep, blah blah. Cat's watching me intently. Cat napping. We've done this bit. We need to have a talk. I've got sickness. Ooh, well done. You really did read it. Most of it, yes. So I wasn't entirely wasting my time. Hang on. Are you... You figure it out. It's not my problem anymore. The mysterious cat slinks off towards the forest area. Oh, don't worry about them. They're preoccupied elsewhere. Help the kitties. Okay. Well, I thought the last one got pretty lucky, actually. Unfortunately, the last one didn't get very far with discovering what happened to our friends. They didn't make an antidote either. I think, with their notes to build on, I'm going to crack this. Well, I promise to give it my best shot at least. Hurrah! Respect.
Jolly good show.
Catalog starts beeping. No, I gotta go to work. Oh my god, has Yennefer got kittens already? That is an excellent point. It's also a thought point I really don't want to think about. Because that was me. I was about to enter the lab to begin my legitimate work when the catalogue beeps. A message without any contact information. Okay, I've decided the voice for the mysterious thing is Knife Dad. Okay, so that message was
loose lips, sink ships.
I remember reading something about messages in the journal, but I was so sleepy last night I don't recall what it was. I decide to ignore the mystery messenger for now, or I'll be late for work. The professor's already working when I arrive, but I'm not late, so there's no fuss. I get through the day as efficiently as possible and head back to my tent as soon as my work is done. I want to get to grips with finding out all I can as soon as possible.
In a world.
Okay, let's find our first cat to romance. We gotta do Fluffy Bow, right? Yennefer's Bizarre Adventure! Gotta do Fluffy Butt. I'm not sure what to expect. I've come to the forest with Floofybutt for what I assumed would be a pleasant way to spend my afternoon off work, but I've now discovered that he's billing it as an informative afternoon of instruction and practical participation. That sounds suspiciously like a lecture to me. Oh well, as Professor Pauper would say, a scientist must keep an open mind.
This is something I would normally do alone, but you strike me as a like-minded soul, interested in both gastronomic and anatomical pleasures. Perhaps now would be a good time to lay down the blanket I asked you to bring. We don't want to put that tender skin of yours under duress. Oh my god, this guy was a serial killer! I lay the blanket on the ground awkwardly and wonder where he's going with this.
Relax, Christopher. This usually doesn't take long.
Suddenly, without warning, there's a loud plop as a bird plummets out of the sky onto the blanket.
Told you so.
Oh my, it's dead.
As a door now.
But what happened to it?
Just the force field, of course. Now enough foolish questions, Christopher. Let's get started, shall we?
Just like the lecturers from my uni. What exactly are we doing here, Fluffy Butt?
I told you, don't use that ridiculous name. I prefer Major, if you please.
What exactly are we doing here, Major?
This is my little surprise. I'm a bird fancier.
Oh, and you fancy your birds dead?
Quite. All the better to practice my other pursuit.
I know I'm gonna regret asking this, but what pursuit would that be, Major?
I'm a self-taught pathologist.
Of course he is. Of course he is. You mean as in post-mortem?
Somewhat rudimentary, don't you know, but I can now find my way around the innards of the average seagull with remarkable dexterity.
Yeah, well, whatever floats your boat. I'm interested in crossword puzzles myself. Not everyone's cup of tea, but it occupies a wet afternoon.
Okay, back to the task at hand, Christopher. I shall now begin the autopsy. Keep your wits about you, there will be questions at the end.
Aha! I knew this was a lecture. Fluffy Butt pings out a razor-sharp claw and begins going to town on the bird.
Incision from sternum to base. On first examination, the skeleton appears to be typical. I note there is no break in the neck, indicating that the force field, rather than the fall, killed the bird.
I feel rather queasy. Oh, really?
Yes, point of interest. Sometimes the initial zap the bird receives from flying into the force field merely stuns them, and it is the impact of the fall which provides the fatal blow.
Hey, Charlie!
This chap, however, appears to have suffered cardiac arrest. You can see from the size, or lack thereof, of the heart that even a minor jolt can be enough to induce seizure.
Having removed the tiny organ, Major has now begun digging inside the carcass as though rummaging in a lucky dip.
Now removing entrails for further examination. Oh, do get a better look, Christopher. It's rather revealing. I can see something in the stomach sac.
Stomach sac.
It looks like... Oh my, it's gold. Our lucky day, Christopher. Here, have a look. It's some kind of nugget.
No thank you, Major. I am not in the mood for playing with the contents of a seagull's stomach.
Don't be ridiculous. This is not a game, Christopher. May I remind you that we are in the middle of a very serious post-mortem, and I expect you, as my assistant, to maintain professionalism.
My stomach is doing flips as I hold the object between thumb and forefinger. What is this thing? It's so small, it kind of looks like a... Oh, it's a tooth, Major! It's a gold tooth!
Ah, good find. You're natural.
I can't help but wonder why a seagull would have a gold tooth in its stomach. Presumably, Major, this is from the mouth of a human.
I think you're probably right.
So, how'd it get in this seagull?
What an inquiring mind. You would make an excellent apprentice. If you like, I could pass on to you the skills I have acquired. That would be a feather in your cap, eh?
I'd say it's definitely weirder than Dream Daddy. I'm enjoying it though. I'm really enjoying this because it's just taken a hell of a turn. I resign myself to the fact that he's not going to be drawn into speculation. Okay, well, I'll bear that in mind, Major. I don't have the heart to tell him that I came top of my class at veterinary surgery.
And now to the victor, the spoils. Don't be shy, I've already carved.
Oh gosh, do you mean?
Of course, tuck in, we won't stand on ceremony here. It's a good one too, plenty of fat.
I have to think fast. Do I really want to eat raw seagull carved up by a cat on the forest floor? Should we do it? Should we do it? Should we do it? Should we do it? Oh, will that make us sick? Let's just do it anyway. Fuck it, YOLO swag. I suppose it would be frightfully rude to refuse now, seeing as he's gone through all the trouble of carving. Oh, silly me. I already had lunch before we came out, but it looks so delicious that I simply must try a bit. A tiny bit. A morsel.
Very well, Christopher. Then I shall leave you the tastiest part of all. The liver.
The cat deftly tears an organ out of the carcass and presents it to me on a flat paw.
Very fatty.
Oh, wow, that's too much, Major. I mean, too generous. As tempted as I am, I simply couldn't.
Nonsense, Christopher, I insist. I would feel a very poor host indeed if my guest refused my hospitality.
Whew. Okay, Christopher, you can do this. Think of it as liver and onions, the way Mum makes it. I hate liver and onions. Okay, breathe. Don't think about it. Just take it and swallow it whole like an iron pill. I'm really gonna enjoy this seagull liver. I snatch it out of the cat's paw and it's in my mouth before my brain can catch up. Oh no. It's in my throat. It's lodged in my throat. I can't swallow it. How do I... Crikey, that was a close call. I catch the organ in my clenched fist and simultaneously give Fluffybutt the thumbs up. Exquisite. Me compliments to the cat.
Quite so. Next time, make sure you have an empty stomach, unlike this chap, eh?
Fluffybutt holds up the gold tooth and he laughs. I try to force a laugh, but I'm suddenly overwhelmed with nausea. I've had a truly lovely time here, Major, but I'm afraid I must go now.
So soon?
Sadly so. Work calls.
Well, I suppose that can't be helped, but let's do this again soon, eh?
Yeah, of course, soon. I can hardly wait. As I run home, feeling the slimy, sticky mess clinging to my hand, I curse myself for not bringing my antiseptic gel. Next time, I will be prepared. Guys, this is wild. Okay, let's do some research. Ooh. Research 1! Christopher, I have a very important job for you today. It's quite a tricky one. But you've proven yourself to be very capable, and I'm certain you can handle it. Follow me. I have a little lady I'd like you to meet. The professor leads me to the research lab. It's going to be Yennefer. 10 of bets it's Yennefer. The professor leads me to the research lab in the forest, but instead of going in, he takes me to an open area around the back. This is our brave little nugget, Ravenpaw. She's yet to be isolated over here. She has to be isolated over here, don't you, Missy? The professor reaches into the cage which is stood on a table and picks up the tiny black cat that's sleeping inside. Such a good girl, aren't you? We keep her here away from the others because the poor thing is very unwell. Can't you see this nasty rash? Professor Pauper holds out one of the cat's paws for me to inspect. It's red and swollen. Ravenpaw looks at me with her big watery eyes, one blue, one brown. They're probably watering because of the medication she's on, but it makes her look as if she's pleading with me. She doesn't seem to be able to eat without assistance either, poor thing. We've been treating her as best we can, but I'm not sure if she'll make it. Perhaps not even to the end of the week. The professor lets out a sigh. I have my fingers crossed, though. We don't give up on any of these cats, do we, Ravenpaw? No, we don't. We're going to try and get you all better. She's such a pretty cat. Her eyes are enchanting, aren't they? She's a very pretty cat indeed, and she knows it too. You can tell. You know what a pretty thing you are, don't you? I reach out to stroke Ravenpaw, but she struggles away from my hand. Ah, she's getting cranky. I think we've kept Grumpy Pants here awake for long enough. He puts her gently back into the cage and locks it shut. Ravenpaw seems to fall asleep instantly. I hope I didn't distress her. Of course not, Christopher. She's usually very wary of humans before she gets to know them. When I first found the poor thing on the beach, she almost scratched my eyes out, in spite of the terribly fragile state she was in. The professor smiles at the memory. Such a little trooper. She was half dead at first. She's got a lot better since then. I honestly wouldn't be surprised to see her pull through this. I do hope so, Professor. Quite. Now, the reason I brought you here is because, regrettably, I won't be able to see to Ravenpaw personally any longer. It's a pity as she's so used to me now, but there's nothing for it. I've been given an extra workload recently, and I need to share out a few of my odd jobs to accommodate it. I thought you would be the ideal person to look after Ravenpaw for me. I'm taken aback that the professor has trusted me with such responsibility. It's quite flattering until I remember that he doesn't have much choice, me being the only assistant on the island. Every day she requires a change of dressing, a dose of medication, some cream rubbed into her rashes, and a syringe full of some nutrient milk. This can be quite distressing for her, so I'd like someone with a nice and patient manner to take over from me. Would you be interested, Christopher? Of course, sir. I'd love to help out in any way I can. It's what I'm here for. Oh, splendid. I'm so glad. I think you and Ravenpaw will get along famously before too long. She has such a sweet nature. I look forward to it, sir. Could you start now? Oh, of course. Tip-top, I shall be in the lab if you need me for anything. Please don't be afraid to give a shout. I'm terribly sorry to burden you with this so suddenly, but I have such a lot of work to do right now. Oh, okay, Professor. I feel a little apprehensive as I watch Professor Pauper retreat into the lab. I didn't realize I'd be expected to do everything right now without training or anything. I remind myself that this isn't like an ordinary lab back home. I must try to adapt to the higgledy-piggledy ways things are done here. I take a deep breath. Change her dressing. I can do that. Hello, pretty kitty. I'm very sorry, but I have to disturb you. The small cat lets out a sad mew as I lift her out of the cage. I know, life is unfair. Now where are your dressings? I put Ravenpaw next to the cage on the table. She lays down compliantly. She obviously knows the routine. She has a large bandage on the side of her ribs. I begin to gently remove it, trying hard not to pull her skin too much. Well, I suppose if we're going to be doing this every day, we might as well get to know each other, right? So, hello, my name is Christopher, and I'm quite new here. I know your name already, Ravenpaw. Nice name. I bet the professor named you. He certainly knows how to pick 'em, doesn't he? The cat tenses as I remove the last of the plaster and reveal a scar on a patch of bare skin where the professor had shaved her for surgery. Oh dear, that scar looks very tender. I should clean it. Is that alright, Ravenpaw? Let me look. There are some drawers under the table and I quickly find some antiseptic gel and cotton pads. Now, Ravenpaw, I'm gonna level with you. This is gonna sting a bit, but please don't take it out on me. I'm doing this for your own good, okay? Trust me, you don't want this scar to become infected. That would be disastrous. The cat stays perfectly still while I swipe at her scar. She doesn't even make a sound. I have to say I'm impressed and a little disquieted. Wow, you're a brave girl, aren't you? Well done. When I was a kid, I cut my arm on some thorns and had to have antiseptic put on it. As I remember, I screamed the house down. Dude, wimp. When I was a kid, I was about 5, I fell on the pavement outside, skidded like a good couple of feet on my face. I had to have antiseptic on that. That fucking hurt. I carefully put on a clean bandage, trying hard not to stick it to her fur. I suppose the medication comes next, doesn't it? What do we have here? I look through the drawers and find a box of pre-filled syringes, labelled catatonic. Oh, I presumed you'd be taking tablets. But of course the professor said you had trouble with solids, don't you? Poor thing. Thanks for that follow, Katie! There is very much a pattern of my life of falling and skidding on things. When I was like 3, my mum took me to like a park, and I had a little tricycle, and she watched in horror and amusement as I went down a massive hill and fell off my tricycle halfway down and was like skidding down on my front like a penguin with my mouth up and screaming. I got up at the bottom and like my mouth was just full of grass because I do not have full control of my limbs apparently. I hold the back of the skin. I hold the skin on the back of Ravenpaw's neck tight and go to inject it quickly to get it over with, but the syringe is stiff and it takes a lot longer than I'd expected. Again, the little cat makes no response, doesn't move a muscle, almost as if she can't feel it. It was proper power move, yeah. I fucking showed that playground my fucking dominance as I made that hill mine. Good girl. Gosh, you are so tough. You know, I bet you and McMurphy will get on like a house on fire. Ravenpaw's ears prick up as if she's heard a rattlesnake. McMurphy's one of the coolest people. I mean, I was a little wary at first, but he has that Irish charm that's so hard to resist. The tiny cat's head spins up to look up at me. Okay, we need a voice for Ravenpaw. See, I would give her the female knife dad voice, but I forgot how I did it. Okay, we need a voice for Ravenpaw. She's got the kind of that Ebony Darkness Dementia Raven Way thing going on. So, should she be like a Valley girl or a goth girl? Accents are tough, guys. Help me pick one. Emo girl. Okay. So, Oh, Mary's voice. Oh my god, what was Mary's voice like? It was like a softer... oh my god, I went American there. Oh my god. She was like a softer lady knife dad, so it wasn't quite in the world. It was, how do you know he's Irish? Let's do that voice. My heart lurches into my throat. Have you got it? You have, haven't you? You're sick. You've got the sickness. I have a million questions running through my head, but I am unable to speak. Listen to me, human. You must help me. I suddenly jolt to my senses. I'm trying to help you, Ravenpaw. Please, don't use the cream on me. It burns. It's giving me these red patches. I know it hurts, but I have to rub it onto your wounds. Those red patches will get dry and itchy and even infected otherwise. No, please, I beg you, human. That stuff doesn't help. It doesn't. It hurts. I know it feels that way, but it's helping you, I promise. The professor's been caring for you so thoroughly since he found you. I'd get the sack if your treatment went downhill now. That man has only ever hurt me. I'm taken aback. The professor cares for you very much and only wants you to get better. The cat turns her face away as if she's given up hope. It pulls at my heartstrings and I pause for a moment. I believe her! Okay, I'm taking a big leap here. I'm going to give you 5 days without this cream, and if I see any deterioration in your condition, it's back to a strict regime for you, Missy. Regime. And no complaints. Deal? Thank you, human. Secret Desires achievement. Nani? Recon! I can't stop thinking about those important fragrant pink letters Zane mentioned. I've got to get my hands on one. Nani? I run through the sequence one more time. I know it by heart, but I'm nervous. I've been watching long enough to be sure that the routine is just like clockwork. No deviations, well, apart from one, and I've made that work for me. So the boat arrives at 1300 hours. Zane, always alone, talks to the older man, Bob, who hands over the post, while the younger of the two, Joe, loads up the dolly with boxes of supplies. Zane puts the envelopes, never more than 3, into the breast pocket of his jacket. That solves the mystery of why he always overdresses whenever the boat comes in. He then wheels the dolly to the mess tents and unloads the food supplies, then to the lab and unloads the medical supplies. Then to the storage hut, where he unloads the remaining packages and leaves the dolly. Next, he goes to Professor Pauper's tent. If the professor is in, he hands over 2 of the envelopes, keeping the third, his puzzler, inside his jacket pocket. If, however, the professor isn't in his tent, Zane makes his way back down to his chair on the dock, drapes his jacket over the back of it, and spends the afternoon on his puzzles before going back again in the evening to deliver the professor's mail. The train you've just got off was named Sir Tom Jones, only in Wales. He never lets the envelopes out of his jacket pocket or the jacket out of his sight, so my only opportunity would be to pickpocket the security guard when he takes his jacket off, but that relies on Professor Pauper not being in his tent. Luckily, I've ensured with the help of my feline friends that the professor will be held up during his out-of-grounds inspection. Usually, Pauper just meanders around the inner perimeter of the base camp area and checks that all is well. Most days, everything is, but today, Kibbles and Trixie have staged a little rumpus that will engage him for just enough time to miss Zane's delivery. He is, of course, sat in his usual place, jacket draped over his chair. Hi there, Zane. 127. I suppose we're on first name terms now. I have a little something for you. Zane frowns but does not look at me. His eyes are instead where they always are, on his crossword. I've made you a puzzle. He eyes me skeptically. A crossword, to be exact. It's pretty tricky if I do say so myself. I created the puzzle using all the cat's general knowledge. Major and McMurphy thought of some particularly treacherous teasers, while Kibbles and Trixie offered some great obscure pop culture questions. Snooty Booty was mostly just trying to get cat treats out of my pocket. I hand the paper to Zane, who's still frowning. This deck's having a whale of a time. Is this a joke? Oh, it gets harder. Zane peers over the crossword. Why did you make this for me? Well, you know how bored I get, and I like you, Zane. Zane breaks into the first smile I've seen on his face, although small and slightly uncomfortable looking. I don't have anything for you. Yes, he's warming to me. This plan is going spiffingly. Don't worry about that. All I want for you is to complete it. I make my hands into a heart shape while Zane is distracted. I feel stupid, but McMurphy insisted that would be my signal for him to strike. And sure enough, along he slinks, cool as anything. He winds his feline body between Zane's legs, unnoticed. Zane's tongue is now sticking out and his shoulders are hunched in concentration. You stuck already? I dart a look at McMurphy to get ready to make his move. He throws me a disconcerting wink. It's not that hard, just this one about the archetypal counterpart to Yandere. Ah! No! No! Game! No! Ow, I shouldn't have done that. Fuck. Ow, ow, ow. Oh yeah, that's quite niche. Thanks for that one, Kibbles. While I engage Zane, I can see that McMurphy has already reached... Wait a minute, Kibbles is the Ray Winston cat. While I engage Zane, I can see that McMurphy has already reached up as though stretching against the chair and nudged his nose into the inside breast pocket of the jacket. Ugh, shoo! Get out of it! It was what is the archetypal counterpart to yandere? It's like a trope, a personality trope, but you often see it in like fucking South Sister. I see McMurphy scamper off and my heart sinks. Anyway, I'll check back later, see how you're getting on with it. Zane grunts in response. I walk back dejectedly to where McMurphy and I had arranged to meet after our mission was over, and suddenly my spirits lift at the sight of a little pink corner peeking out from under the designating rock. Yandere. McMurphy, you're a star. There's no end to my talents. I snatch the envelope, say goodbye to McMurphy and head to the privacy of my tent. I examine my trophy while the kettle boils. I'm touched by the pretty pink envelope and delicate fragrance and feel suddenly embarrassed. Am I prying into the professor's love life? What's gone into me? Getting notions of secret goings-on and subterfuge. He's got notions. I'm about to put the letter back when I'm overwhelmed by curiosity. I wonder who the professor's secret love could be. What are they like? Woman? Man? Other? Before I can contain myself, I've steamed open the flap and I'm peeking inside. It's not at all what I expect, and my previous suspicions come flooding back. This paper's in stark contrast to the pretty pink wrapping. It is a typed message on white paper. Right, I do not know why, but I am having so much difficulty reading this font. It is seriously fucking with me. Percival, I have been informed of your latest subject. I would rather hear about such things from you personally. It would not be wise to take my silence for authorization. Please keep this in mind for future transactions. I will let this indiscretion slide, but if it is ever repeated, I will have no choice but to deal with you the way I dealt with 124. As for the project, case study number 6 is aesthetic. Please act accordingly. P103 has been unsuccessful. Void any further investigation. Lab 09 has received the newest batch. Protocol to begin on the 8th. Finally, I trust your new assistant has arrived and is proving to be more helpful than the previous one. We seem to have had a run of bad luck in that particular area. Yeah, you don't fucking say! As you know, I do not abide bad luck and will expect a reversal of fortune post-haste. Faithfully yours, 7. I've just clicked across to my Discord while it was doing that loading screen. I just got a message from Justin. No context, we've not been talking about this for fucking days. Just, what if Liam is playing a Yuan T named Simon? Which I didn't realise I wanted until now. The Durolas are running some crazy shit, you guys. We need to rest, lest we turn into a cat. Yeah, I did click rest, okay. Trixie and Kibbles have brought me to the ridge where the pools of coloured water collect. We call them the rainbow pools. It's a beautiful day and there's a vivid rainbow across the sky. Kibbles is over the other side from me, shouting.
Hang on. What? Oh, Ray Winston. What? Where? Look at this. Come over here.
He sounds further away than he is. My hearing isn't quite right, but I don't mind. What is it?
You need to see it.
Suddenly I'm beside him. He's looking over the edge of the cliffs, and when I look down, the sea is further away than I expect. It's such a long way down.
Do you see it?
And I feel a push from behind. As I begin to fall, I hear Trixie laugh. Fucking hell. Curiosity did what? God, I did it again. Hang on, I need to move OBS a little bit. Go over there. Oh, go over there, OBS. I'm a professional streamer, you don't know. Shut up. And I'm not falling at all. I'm floating, light as a feather. Fly, little bird. Fly away home. This is the best feeling ever. I'm going higher up now. To what? Higher up. Higher. Oh my god. I'm going higher now. Up towards the rainbow. I'm going to touch it. Mind you don't get scorched by the sun. I feel myself being shaken. Homie, you really ought to go in now. It's too hot out here to sleep. I'm on the patch of scrub beside my tent. I was just having a moment of shut-eye in the sun, but I must have fallen asleep. Ah, thanks, Trixie. I smile at the calico cat as I surreptitiously scratch at the prickly heat on my legs. Don't even fucking talk to me about prickly heat. Yay, we had a good sleep. Okay, let's go and romance the cat some more. Oh, he's all sparkly, look at him. Agoo! Desu! Oh, Trixie's heart's broke.
Do hold your hands still, Christopher. I can hardly see a thing with you shaking like that.
I hold the binocular stable in front of Floofybutt's tiny cat face. He looks ridiculous.
It's like you're not even trying, Christopher. You're shaking like a leaf.
My hands are totally steady, Major. Ever consider it could just be your eyesight?
I'll have you know I have the keen eyes of a goat.
Goats aren't exactly known for their vision, Major.
That's just because the world is full of ignorami.
Well, what can you see?
I can only see a couple of mulers lazing about, of course, scratching at their fleas. Filthy things, I tell you.
What?
One of the bigger ones is emptying its bladder. That could mean that they do eat and drink on a regular schedule.
And
if we're able to find out where the water supply is, we could lace it with a mild sedative and bring the incapacitated sample to the beach and...
Please don't finish that sentence. No cats will be harmed during this mission.
Oh please, the subject will not be harmed, just slightly bewildered for a day or two.
But why, Major?
Well, to examine it for a start. Also, I should like to see how they react when one of theirs goes missing for a change.
Major, I only agreed to help you with this on the promise that you will not attempt to exact any kind of retribution on the elders. Examination is one thing, but if you can't keep your end of the deal, then I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to withdraw.
Okay, I'll just observe.
I replace the binoculars in front of Floofybutt's keen goat eyes.
Well, what do we have here?
Found something?
I do believe I have. There's a few elders here who seem to be meditating.
Meditating? Are you sure they're not just sleeping?
Take a look, will you, and tell me they aren't meditating.
I adjust the binoculars to suit my eyes and am quite taken aback by what I see. Floofybutt is right, the cats aren't sleeping. They're sitting in a circle around what is by far one of the stranger landmarks on the island, a large statue of Bastet. Professor Pauper has always dodged my questions about what on earth the statue of the Egyptian cat goddess of war is doing on this island. Not just war, she did other things too. I'm even more intrigued now. The cats seem to be listening, or contemplating, or even meditating. Well, Major, I'm sure there's a perfectly good explanation for their behaviour. Cats often behave quite strangely, I've found.
Well, there's a strange, and then there's strange, and my experience teaches me that the type of strangeness that this class are afflicted with is beyond acceptable. I believe the only way to protect us all is total disassociation.
Major, do you hear yourself? We're here, practically trespassing on their territory so that you can spy on them while they're doing whatever it is they're doing, and you want dissociation from them.
One must know one's enemy, Christopher.
How are they your enemy, Major? They've never done anything to you.
Oh no. These Muellers are wholly responsible for the problems on this cursed island, and it's about time they were held accountable. They are the carriers of the cat virus. If it weren't for them, you wouldn't be afflicted with the illness.
Oh, is that so? Because I distinctly remember it was you lot who deliberately put me in danger in the first place. The elders are cats. Just cats.
Just cats, eh? Oh, I see.
I realise what I've just said, and although I didn't intend it the way the Major is taking it, I can see how wounded he is. I feel conflicted. On the one hand, I want to take a stand against his bigotry. It's not helping our progress, and I believe it may end up ruining our friendship. On the other hand, I know he has a good heart. As Trixie says, he's just stuck in his ways, and it would be wrong of me to start pushing my views onto him. I mean, no. Perhaps I can lead by example and practice a little more tolerance myself. Okay, you don't have to tolerate intolerance. Just saying, if someone's being like a fucking racist or a catist, and you don't have to be like, I can see your point. No, you say, don't be a fucking catist, you catist. You know exactly what I mean, Major. Don't add me to your list of enemies.
Oh no, you're not my enemy, Christopher. I'm just very disappointed to find out that you're as gullible as the others. Believing those creatures to be harmless, we ought to embrace them with open arms.
Those creatures? Major, please, you must stop this ridiculous thinking, or I may have to dissociate myself from you.
Oh really? I do not understand how such a seemingly intelligent human can be so narrow-minded.
I could say the very same about you, Major.
Me? Narrow-minded? I've never heard anything more ludicrous. I have a voracious appetite for knowledge.
For the things that interest you.
Well, yes, but isn't that the case for all of us?
As a scientist, I need to explore beyond what I want to know, beyond what suits my sensibilities.
Well, here I am, Christopher, exploring what I don't like one bit.
He has a smug look on his face that is very annoying. Have you ever tried communicating with the elders? Floofybutt scoffs loudly.
Those Muellers do not share our language, Christopher. How exactly do you expect me to communicate with them? The very notion is laughable.
Oh, is it? Here I am, Major, a human, having a two-way, somewhat intelligent discussion with a cat. Is that not laughable too? Floofybutt goes uncharacteristically quiet. I sense I've hit a nerve and decide to retreat. Perhaps we're going to have to agree to disagree on this one, Major, or we'll fall out entirely.
Quite. Thank you for joining me today, Christopher, but I can manage from here. Your assistance is no longer required.
Oh, okay, Major. I'll just put your binoculars here then, shall I?
As you wish.
I place them on a little patch of grass and step away. Floofybutt eyes them, and I watch his expression change as his dilemma dawns on him. He decides not to attempt to using them while I'm watching. I'll leave you to it then.
Yes, thank you, but I'm fine now. I shall be doing other reconnaissance, and I'm better off alone.
I feel bad for him, and don't want us to part on an argument. I'm on feeding duty today. I'll keep something back for you. Come and find me later when you feel hungry.
Thank you, Christopher. Good afternoon.
He's clearly going to take a while to get over this, and I don't want to make things worse, so without saying another word, the tabby and I part ways. As I make my way back to camp, I go over what happened between us, wondering if I could have handled Major better. Although I may have hurt his feelings, I feel satisfied that tough love was the right way to go. There's no way our friendship could progress without honesty and respect. I have every faith in him, and that he'll come by later when his stomach's rumbling. Okay, so, let's do some research. Let's feed some cats. Meow, meow, meow. It's too early. The world isn't meant to be seen before 7 o'clock. True. These early mornings are still a shock to me, but I'm hitting my stride quicker. I like to get the kittens fed and cleaned out before my breakfast. It's easier to do it before the rest of the camp is awake, as there are a lot less distractions. I prepare the motion my stomach turns to at the milky smell so early in the day. I get the swab tray ready and grab a handful of kitty treats. Hello, babies! I peer into the cage of the sleeping kittens. So cute. They're just waking up and ready for breakfast. I do a quick head count. 12. Good. No one tunneled out in the night. Come on then, let's get you swabbed and fed. Om nom nom. I grab the first sleepy kitten, no more than a ball of fur, and as it opens its mouth to yawn, I dart in with the swab, bottle it, and onto the next fur ball. You're getting good at this. Ah, Trix, you're up early. Going to bed late, actually. I keep swabbing, and in no time I've got all 12 little cats into the feeding cage and have begun cleaning out the sleeping area. Aw, cute! How long will they stay here for? I'm not sure. Generally they kept it for about 10 weeks and then some are released back into the wild immediately, but some are moved to be examined further. I'm still getting the hang of how it all works around here. It's a shame that they aren't all released, isn't it? Yeah, I suppose so. But they'll be released eventually, just some later than others. You think so? Well, yes, unless they're very poorly, like Ravenpaw. Trixie winces at the mention of the black cat's name. Very few of those kittens actually get released into the wild, Christopher. What do you mean? Of course they do, as long as they're healthy. Oh, wow. And you know this, do you? You release them yourself? Well, no, but Professor Pauper told me that the kittens get discharged at between 10 to 12 weeks. Oh, I see. Trixie smiles, but looks fake. What is going on? If I were you, I'd tag one of this litter. Oh no, they're too young for tagging. You have to wait until they're at least 12 weeks. That one over there, he looks very healthy. I'm sure if you tagged him, you'd be able to see for yourself what happens to the healthy kittens. As I go to answer, I hear the breakfast bell in the distance. Oh, Cinderella has to fly! And the calico cat is gone as quickly as she appeared. Come on then, Keys, let's get you back into your nice clean cage. I can't help but think about what Trixie has said. She seemed to be genuinely concerned, and there must be some basis for that. After all, she has been here a lot longer than me. Maybe tagging one of these kittens wouldn't be such a bad idea. What would be the harm? Tag the cat! Come on then, back to... But before I can even finish my sentence, my hand has grabbed the chipping pen, and I've tagged the plump grey male. Probably silly, but it won't harm me and it could teach me something useful. Ba-ba-da-da-dum. Recon! Recon 11. Okay, there's been a shipment of supplies delivered and I have to get it all unloaded. Maybe I can get some info while I'm there. Oh, excuse me. Yes, new unlocks. Nearly choked on my spit then. Good job. I've been asked to help with the loading and unloading of supplies today. This suits me because I've been itching for the chance to talk to the ferryman and his son. I'm curious to see if they have any useful bits of info that might help me in my quest to find out the real story of the island. Cream 116's kittens! What if it is? The boat only comes once a week and every other weekend. The weekend deliveries are all the good things, food, mail, treats, etc., and the mood is always light-hearted. These midweek trips, on the other hand, are strictly work-related and tend to be very early morning when we're all a bit grumpy, or late at night when we're overtired. I did not fuck a cat, I turned into a cat. Today it's so early that the light has only just broken. Zane and I are waiting down on the jetty. They're late? Really, it's only 5 minutes. Bob's never late. It must be quite a long trip though, to the mainland. You'd at least expect at least 5, maybe 10 minutes either way. Bob is never late. I remember that Zane isn't one for chit-chat, so I keep quiet and wait. Thankfully it isn't long. I can hear the sound of the boat's engine before I can see it, since the morning's mist hasn't been burned off by the sun yet. Zane straightens up and suddenly they're here, emerging from the mist like a ghost ship. They've been doing this so long that it only takes them minutes to dock and tie off before we're stepping aboard. God! Right? Right. Another man of few words. I nod to Bob's son, Joe, and he nods back. I guess we're the same age, but he's huge. Problems?
A few extra crates, held us up 5 minutes.
Okay, me and Bob will do the shifting and you two do the stacking. Until we come back with the outgoing, you stay aboard and sort out the incoming. Got that, Brainy? He's looking at me. Brainy? I'm totally excited that Zane is giving me a nickname, but a little crushed that the nickname is Brainy. Sure, you bring him, we fling him. I see that I'm the only one grinning like a fool.
Joe knows what to do.
Whoa, what was that accent? Joe knows what to do. You do as you're told. They've gone before I can say anything else. Joe has already started loading up the dolly with incoming crates. He's clearly an old hand at this. You look like you've been doing this your whole life. Family business?
Move those crates there. They need to go off next.
He sidestepped my question, but I'm not sure if it's deliberate, so I try a different tack. Then I move a box and find a giant bloodstain from when the shot happened. You don't go to college then, Joe? Nope. I'm not getting anywhere with this, so I changed to something less personal. Zane said you're never late, which is pretty impressive considering how far you have to come. This is like pulling teeth. How far is it exactly?
Quite far.
Oh, really? Do you stop anywhere else en route, or are we your only drop-off? And suddenly Joe has stopped what he's doing and standing toe-to-toe with me, locked onto my eyes so that I can't look away.
You have a lot of questions in you.
My suggestion would be to keep him there on the inside. Don't do no good poking your nose into other people's business. I'm shocked by his bluntness. Murder is the family business! I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you. I was just making small talk.
You live with all them cats. Learn from them.
My heart beats faster. I think he's going to tell me something. What?
All cats know. Curiosity kills them.
Whoa! Fucking hell, please. Let's phone the police. I'm being threatened. He starts to laugh out loud. I just stand with my mouth open, not sure how to respond.
What's the matter? Cat got your tongue?
And he laughs even harder. I'm feeling creeped out and I'm really relieved to hear the two older men returning. Everything alright here? They have the crates to be loaded onto the boat. What's up with you, Brainy? You look a bit wobbly. Not got your sea legs yet. We were playing cat and mouse, Dad. Bob turns sharply on his son and shuts him up with a look.
You don't want to mind him. He don't mean no harm. Best take what he says with a pinch of salt.
I see a look pass between him and Zane and get the feeling there's a lot more going on here than I understand. You need to get back now, Brainy. We can take it from here. I want to ask to stay, be given another chance, but all three men are looking at me, and I just turn and slink away. Okay, let's have a rest. I want a rest IRL. I am tired. Dum -dum. You had a lovely nap and wake up feeling revitalized. Ooh, excuse me. Oh my god, it's 10:30 already. What? Madness. Okay, let's do recon. Recon 15. The book McMurphy gave to my predecessor is sitting on my lap. I wonder what a pirate's diary is doing on this island. Maybe there'll be some clues within. The log reads, I felt an almighty crash and then silence and stillness everywhere. It took a few seconds to gather my thoughts and understand what had happened here. If it would ever really be possible to understand this god-forsaken place and how we got so far off course to reach here. But in that moment, immediately after we hit the rocks, I knew two things. I was alive and we were on land, and I felt grateful. It felt like a chance at survival, and I was determined to grasp it. I felt my legs, intact thank God, and began crawling over the slate and shingle that seemed to stretch upwards to eternity. What type of place was this? Darkness was falling fast, but I needed to make sure we would be safe in this unexplored terrain. Who knew what could happen during the long night? What creatures it may bring, even what strange meteorological anomalies. Looking at the sky. Oh, anomalies, ... Looking at the sky, I felt anything was possible, and we ought to be prepared. We had to work fast. I assembled the men, raggle-taggle though we were, into some kind of orderly unit in the hope that the familiarity of discipline would raise morale. We were all tired, cold, and hungry. Some of us needed medical attention. This was not going to be easy, but it's what I was trained for, and I would rather die than let my men down. We need to make some shelter. My voice sounded thin and weak against the sound of the waves crashing. At first light, I looked around and began to take stock properly. It was gratifying to see that the temporary shelter we had cobbled together last night was still intact, and no disasters had befallen to us to add to the difficulties we were already burdened with. Considering the conditions we erected this makeshift covering and how short a time, I felt heartened for the first time since we were out at sea, before the strange electrical storm began that ended with us being thrust here against the unforgiving rocks of this terrifying place. We could do so much more with daylight on our side and food in our bellies. So they were shipwrecked on this island. The thought of being the first inhabitants here is terrifying. How on earth did they survive? Maybe they didn't. I want to believe that they were rescued, but that seems unlikely. I will read more this evening. As I put the book away, a small piece of paper falls into my lap. It must have been hidden amongst the pages of the log. It's a note, maybe a letter. Sally, I know you worry for me, but do not. The men do not treat me bad. They give me food and do not beat me so much anymore. The captain is not so fearsome as what they say, and he is giving me lessons on my writing. I am improving. I practice all night because I can't sleep. I work hard, sometimes till my hands crack and bleed, but I still use them every morning to pray for you, that you are safe and well and that we will be together soon. I miss you so much. The seas have not been smooth. Sometimes I worry that we will capsize completely and be lost out here forever, but I would swim the widest ocean back to you, my sweet sister. I hope you are practicing your writing too. I would like to read your clever poems again. Your loving brother, Jim. What a sweet letter. I wonder what became of Jim. Romance that cat. We've been walking for ages, Major. I don't have much longer before they'll expect me back.
Almost there. It needs to be as close to the danger zone as possible to deter snoopers. Few cats and even fewer humans come this far out, which ensures that my deposits are safe.
Deposits?
This is an act of trust, you understand?
Bye, cat.
I believe that our recent disagreement and resulting reconciliation has made our bond of camaraderie stronger than ever, and I would like to solidify our reunion with the sharing of something quite private and important to me.
I feel slightly awkward and mumble incoherently in response. Yes, well, what's past is past. Water under the bridge and all that. I'm delighted, though, that you have reviewed and modified some of your stronger opinions. Major, updated your map, so to speak.
Indeed, though for the record, I'm still uneasy about the elders, but I grant that finding a way to speak with them might provide more insight than I'd assumed.
Well, we really are on the same page now, Major. We come to a halt. I can smell the pungent scent of the elder cats. I've not been this close to them since that first night, and it makes me uncomfortable, but I feel surprisingly reassured to be here with Fluffybutt.
This is it. We must be completely silent now, so you'll have to cease that unattractive sound you're making.
I'm out of breath, Major. I can't help it.
What I'm about to show you is taking a long time and a lot of effort on my part. If anyone else should get wind of its whereabouts or even its existence...
Yes, okay, Major, I get it. I swear the most prestigious of pinky promises that I will not utter a word to anyone about whatever I see today. Fluffybutt seems satisfied and makes an effort to straighten himself out before motioning towards a large tree.
This, my dear, is my treasure.
Oh, my goodness, what a handsome tree you have here, Major. Very tall and, proud-looking. Congratulations.
Oh, for goodness sake, come over here.
Fluffybutt leads me around the enormous tree to its hidden side, which is a large hollow in it. It looks like it leads to a tunnel. Good God, man, are you digging an escape route out of here?
What on earth are you twittering about? Use your eyes more and your mouth less, my dear.
I noticed then that hidden in the dark recess of the tree is the outline of a large object which my eyes won't allow me to see clearly. What is it, Major?
Don't be shy, Christopher. Get in there and have a proper look.
I have no choice but to crawl into the cavity for closer inspection. I run my fingers over the item and deduce that it is made out of old, splintering wood and has cold metal adornments on either side. I use them to drag it out of the tree, and in the half-light I'm somewhat unsurprised to see that it is an old-fashioned treasure chest. I would expect nothing less from the Major. Fluffybutt is looking at me expectantly.
Well, open it, my dear. You needn't worry about the lock. It's quite broken.
Like my arm. Hey! I do as instructed. Oh my goody aunt. Major, how on earth? The chest is full to the brim with all sorts of shiny things. Jewellery, gems, coins, trinkets, ornaments, baubles, and all manner of curios. Fluffybutt lets out a laugh.
Allow me to regale you, human, with my vast adventures and conquests.
I settle down and allow the Major's voice to wash over me as I play with some items of frippery from the chest.
Ah, that coin you're holding. There's a very interesting story attached to that. Do you know how old it is, Christopher? I do believe the date on it should still be legible. I remember the night I found it. I'd gone for a walk along the beach. It was blustery and dark.
I feel for the first time how exhausted I am. The walk has sapped me of all my energy.
And as I fought with the elements...
I look ahead and notice the sky is much darker. I'm laying down, although I don't remember doing so.
Valiant and victorious to thunder's applause.
I hear a low grumbling sound. Thunder? And a flashing behind my now closed eyes. Surely it's a storm, but there's no rain. That's odd. No wet, just warm and dry and hard to breathe.
And I bellowed defiantly, "You cannot have them," but the Muellers were already encircling.
I should really get up now. Oh, it seems my eyes won't open. That's a pity. Oh no, I got my hair gross. There.
As I bit into the still beating heart...
I do believe I'm being paralysed. That's a shame. I try to move my fingers. Nope, they're not listening to me. What? Okay.
Wake up! We have to get you out of here this instant. Up you get. That's it. Come on.
As I come to, the world looks dark and distorted. I must be walking because the trees are passing my line of vision. My hands hurt. I don't look down at them, and they're pressed firmly into the earth. One moving in front of the other. I must be crawling? I don't know how much time has passed, but I wake up on the sand. I inspect my blistering hands. Floofybutt is sitting next to me, facing the sea. Did I dream about that?
Oh, you're awake. No, I'm afraid you weren't dreaming.
What happened?
It was my fault. I took you too close to the danger zone, and in your current state, you couldn't handle it.
In my current state?
Your feline transition is still in its early stages. It seems to be progressing particularly slowly in you.
So, I'm still very vulnerable to the effects of the Elder Territory. Angie! Hello.
Quite. I was foolish. I don't think I was too interested myself. My stories, my pleasure, my...
I'll take another run at that, because I fucked that up. Okay.
Quite. I was foolish. I didn't think. I was too interested in myself, my stories, my treasure to protect you properly. Please forgive me.
It's fine. Oh, it's okay, Major. Don't upset yourself. I had a lot of fun until the whole, blackout thing. Floofybutt looks genuinely pleased. As much as that face can look pleased.
Really? I've been told I'm a very good raconteur.
One of the best.
How much did you hear?
I'm sorry?
How many of my anecdotes did you hear before you succumbed? I would be happy to repeat anything you missed.
Oh no, really, Major, I'm fairly certain I heard more.
Well, if you're quite sure.
I am, and besides, I think I have a migraine going on.
Well, in that case, you must allow me to nurse you until you're fully recovered.
Okay, Major, it's a deal. Major?
Yes?
Why do I have earrings in my hair?
I had to pelt you with jewelry to get you to wake up.
Ah, of course. If you don't mind, Major, I think I need to get back to sleep. I lay back down on the warm sand and curl into a ball.
I'll be here when you wake up.
I drift off and dream that I'm a cat. Mel, you're asking a lot of questions that I just cannot answer. We've got another 2 dates with Floofyboot yet. Floofyboot. I turned Canadian there. 2 more dates with Floofybutt. I've rushed out to the forest on Floofybutt's insistence that I meet him at the location of his treasure chest. After the incident, we called on McMurphy and Kibbles to help us drag it to a new spot further away from the Elder Territory. Major, are you okay? I was in the middle of preparing lunch when I received your urgent summons.
Quite. I was pouring through my collection just now, and I couldn't help but reflect upon some of our adventures.
How dare! Oh, so you dragged me away from the kitchen to reminisce?
Indeed, I've grown rather fond of our expeditions together. I do seem to find more unique articles when you accompany me.
You've trained me well, Major. Any advancement I've made in the... Fucking hell! Any advancement... Nope, well, I clicked that. Whatever. Yes, I mean,
no. You have a very natural ability. Rather impressive.
I went Canadian there. No, I went Newfie. There's a distinct difference. My apologies, Angie. I take it back. You flatter me, Major.
Not at all. I'm a fair cat, and it's my belief that good work deserves just reward.
Reward? How dare! I dare.
Indeed, and so I felt it would be only right to let you keep an item from my inventory so that you may start a collection of your own.
That's too kind of you, Major. I'm touched.
Yes, well, let's have a look, shall we? You may choose whatever you like, my dear. Absolutely anything.
I peer into Floofybud's treasure chest. All the gems and bits of precious metal sparkle and glint in the sunlight. I gently move some of the more bijou trinkets out of the way and dig deep for the good stuff. Wow! I grasp a red gem almost the size of my fist. I wonder if it's a ruby, but before I can begin to examine it, Floofybud has swiped it away with his paw.
No idea what that is doing there.
I think I see how this is going to go.
Anything else, Christopher? Whatever you like.
How about this? I untangle a string of pearl, creamy and iridescent, clearly very good quality, even to my untrained eye. Floofy looks uncomfortable.
Yes, they are rather special, aren't they? I do have a particular fondness for them.
I let him off the hook as my eye catches sight of something dull and cheap looking. Major, what on earth is this? The filthy bottle sticks out like a sore thumb amongst the shiny baubles. Floofy usually likes to collect... oh my god, shiny baubles that Floofy usually likes to collect. Can't read.
Oh, that! Heavens, I forgot all about that thing. It might suit you. If you shake it, you will hear something rattling about in there. I do believe it contains a note or a script of some kind.
He's selling it to me. The punctuation's too small. Like, I miss those full stops because they're so tiny.
Silly, really. I did get it into my head to find a way to open that bottle, but the cork is wedged in tight.
I choose this to start my collection, Major.
Really? That old thing?
But I can tell he's absolutely delighted. Yes, and I have an idea how to open it.
Go on, you have my attention.
I whip off my apron and loosely wrap it around the bottle, then smash it unceremoniously against the side of a tree. Yeah, I'm like, even just reading the words, this font is really difficult for me to read for some reason. I don't know why, but I keep fucking up big time reading this.
Good gracious, Christopher, how lively of you.
I have a feeling the real treasure is this. I carefully pick the parchment from amongst the shards of glass and cast a cursory eye over the faded scribbles. A genuine message in a bottle. This could fill in so many blanks about the history of this place.
A piece of paper?
Oh, Major, this is not just a piece of paper. This is better than anything I could have hoped for.
Well, if that's what you deem to be treasure, then please be my guest.
Thank you so much, Major. I grin from ear to ear. I must go now, though. I'm late for lunch duty. I excitedly kiss Floofybud on his furry head before dashing back to base. Hey, thanks for that host, Angie! Yes! Ba-ba-da-da-da. Okay, rest. Do a quick rest, and then it's the last date with Floofybud. I'm in class at my university. I would give you a heart, so you can only have half a heart, I'm afraid. Just imagine I'm doing it too. This cat is a lot less over-sexual and a lot less weird. Yeah, I mean, he's not McMurphy, is he? I'm in class at my university. The tutor is late, and we're all sitting waiting. I turn to my friend who sits behind me to make a joke about the tutor's car breaking down, but my friend isn't there either. Instead, there's a giant cat. Whoa! Hello! It looks like an elder. It bares its teeth at me and lets out a menacing low growl. Just as I'm about to scream, the tutor arrives, but it's Professor Pauper.
You look like you've seen a ghost, Christopher.
I'm trying to answer back, to tell him to look behind me, but the words won't come out. I'm rigid with fear. Can't move, can't speak, can't scream. Everyone else is acting like things are normal. Can't they see it? I force myself to turn again and look at the terrifying cat, but it's not there. There's just an ordinary domestic cat, and everyone is laughing at me. Now I see everyone from the island. The Marigolds, Joe, Bob, Zane, Pauper, all pointing and laughing. I jump out of my seat to leave and I'm in bed, in my tent, sat bolt upright. I shouldn't have eaten cheese so close to bedtime. Okay, last date with Major. Cheese. Look at his little face. Ah, ugu? Ugu desu. Hey, welcome back, Kurt. Flippybird has asked me to accompany him to the beach because he wants to share some thoughts with me. As usual, I have no idea what he may be devising. He's asked me to sit comfortably on our blanket and is now standing in front of me with a piece of paper wedged between his front paws, endlessly clearing his throat as though he's about to make a speech or spit a hairball.
It is often the case, at last, that on an auspicious occasion speech may be required to honour the affair.
Ah, speech, not hairball.
Today, I felt it fitting that I deliver a brief address to mark the importance of the new moon anniversary of my first meeting the person who has changed irrevocably in the course of my life.
Kawaii desu! Sorry desu ne!
My dear, I am a cat of rhetoric and proud of it. My verbosity is remarked upon throughout the island, and yet I have felt the need to scratch a few words onto this paper in case my wit and intellect should fail, under the duress of sentimentality, and I find myself unable to express adequately the dictates of my feline heart.
Sugoi!
Indulge me for a moment as I grapple with that, the most elusive of emotions. Love, for that is the matter at hand. What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. Loyalty, respect, allegiance, support, cooperation, and mutual trust.
Yari does it.
There is no better way to show love, whether it be for king and country or cream puff pastry, than with a proud and loud declaration of
Nya. Nyan.
Of humble.
Fluffybutt peeks at his scrap of paper. He holds the paper up to his good eye.
Blast my handwriting.
Fluffybutt claws the paper to shreds.
For goodness sake, Christopher, what I meant to say is that I love you. And whether or not you love me is of no consequence. I am not expecting a response. I only wish you to know my feelings. I understand that yours for me may not be the same, but I request, without prejudice or expectation, that you end my limbo with a response.
I love you too, Fluffybutt! Oh, Major, of course my feelings are the same. You have my unequivocal respect, allegiance, and love. Goodness, we're even starting to sound alike.
Oh my, I wasn't expecting that. I honestly don't know what to say.
Don't say anything, just come here. The large tabby launches himself into my arms and we share a long and slightly scratchy hug. Oh shit, I forgot to do my last bit of research before I fucking... Oh wait, never mind. We're good. This isn't even the weirdest. Let's do some research. Yes, I'm ready. No, we're good. I hadn't hacked it up. I thought I had. I arrived at the lab a little later than usual today. I got held up by the incredibly important task of petting all the cats I saw on the way in. Really crucial stuff. As I enter, I see a large, unmarked wooden box on the table. Morning, Professor. I wasn't expecting you to be working alongside me today.
I'm not, I'm afraid. I'm actually in rather a hurry, but I needed to explain to you a new protocol I'd like you to carry out for me.
He opens the lid of the crate, and inside are rows of small clear bottles, each containing white fluid. Petting all the cats, you cheating hussy. Well, you know me. Floozy. What's this, milk?
No, these are samples from our offshore lab.
Samples of what?
So many questions. Curiosity is a marvelous trait for a scientist. Now I want you to run some tests on these. I want you to check how they respond to contact with compounds 16, 18 and 24.
I noticed how deftly he evaded my question.
Once you've done that, provided there are no complications, I'll need you to apply the sample to some of the cats and record the results.
I beg your pardon?
Apply the sample to the cats, Christopher. We're looking for specific reactions.
Of course, sir, but oughtn't I have a little more information before I start applying an untested product to a living subject?
Look, Christopher, I understand your concerns. Of course I do. However, once in a while one has to trim the red tape, and this is one of those occasions. Now, I really am in the most awful rush, my dear, but I have complete faith in you.
Stu, what the fuck is that? That looks like Gudetama. And suddenly, I'm alone. I pick up one of the samples from the box. It looks like a miniature milk bottle, but the fluid inside is creamier than milk. I retrieve the compounds from the cabinet that the professor wanted to test, and wanted me to test, and spend some time combining them with the sample. From what I can tell, the compounds are some kind of organic material, but no one has told me where they came from or what they actually are. It's a kitty! Oh, it's Kenny's paws. Gotcha. I can only see it. It's only very small on my screen. It's very small. It's small. It's tiny cat. It's small cat. Where did it come from? Where did it go? Where did it come from? Kitten-eyed Joe. I look at them under the microscope one by one and add a little of the sample. It's a bit like glue, so it's hard to get it to combine, but once I do, something odd happens. The dead cells that make up the compounds start to move excitedly. They aren't coming back to life exactly, but they are behaving like living cells. Soylent meow. I have no idea what this stuff is, or its intended use, but I do know that I feel uncomfortable applying it to live subjects. I look at the cats in their cages. They look back at me with trusting eyes. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. These guys are shady as fuck. No, I'm not going to do it. If the professor continues to withhold information, then I think it's only right that I put the responsibility back on him. He can carry out this procedure himself. I send Purrfect a message from my catalogue. Professor, I feel I cannot continue in my task today until I understand the implications of what it is I'm being asked to do to the cats. I don't get a reply right away. Eventually the catalogue beeps. Professor Purrfect has replied. Oh dear, that's disappointing. I'd be happy to comply if you could just give me a little more information. If you really are having such difficulties in carrying out your duties, perhaps it would be best for me to find someone who is better equipped. Fucking bring it, bitch. I'm afraid I might lose my job if I don't administer the sample. I feel the implicit threat. I'm sorry you see it that way, sir. I love my job here, but this oversteps a personal boundary. Collect your things, you can catch the boat in the morning. Dick. I still can't quite believe what happened and that I'm really heading home already. I went to see the professor in his tent last night to discuss our difference of opinion. I was hoping to straighten things out so that I could continue working here, but he wasn't there, and I received a curt message from him asking that I be on the boat first thing in the morning. So here I am, heading to the jetty where the boat is waiting for me. I feel very alone in the morning mist, no one to wave me off. Oh well, it's too late for regrets now. I shall focus on the excitement of returning to my old life. Right? You report them, because this is like ethically wrong. Strange. Even after such a short time, I can't seem to remember much about my life before. Oh, here we go. Joe, the ferryman's son, takes my bag and helps me onto the boat. That was quick. You drink all the boss's whiskey or something. Something. He looks at me suspiciously. Must be bad then, playing with the cats instead of working. Let's just go, shall we? I can't wait to get home. And where would that be? Huh? Home. You do know where your home is, don't you? Don't be daft. But for some reason my mind won't focus, and I can't seem to remember. Hey guys, this looks familiar. Where then? It's... Don't worry, you just sit there for a minute. Dad? The older man comes out the cabin and joins us on the deck. Got a problem here, son? I reckon so. This one can't even remember their own name. What? Yes, I can. It's, Before I can answer, the older man has pulled what looks like a gun from his coat and is aiming it at me. It's not personal, Christopher. We just have to take precautions. Can't have any problems reaching the mainland now, can we? Now, can we? Boom. Bang, bang. In a relationship with Floofy Boy. Welp. We tried so hard to not get shot again. But, really conveniently, that's actually brought us to 2 minutes to 11, so it is time to end the stream, Aleem a ding dong. I don't know where that was going. But yeah, it's time to put that whole business to bed. So, Christopher is dead. Requiescat in pace, Christopher. Yes, we've been shot 2 out of 3 times. Because we have ethics and morals. That's what's happened. Because we have a moral code, we've been fucking shot. So, I'm a bounce, but tomorrow I will remember Paul. Actually, do you know what? Let's continue. And I'll make Paul. This guy's cute. So's that guy. This guy, Paul. And then I will, oh, excuse me, exit out. But, chapter 4. What amazing journey! Blah, blah. Okay, it just saved. So, wait, that's... He never gave us a nickname before, right? Like, that early? Conspiracy widens. So yeah, I'm a bounce, but I shall see you beautiful people tomorrow for some bike club. So get your butts in here if you want to see some the party. I've currently, stayed the night at Van Richten's Tower. They've met Esmeralda and Avenir. And they're about, I think, potentially to go to the Wizard of the Wines. Wizard of the Want something. Of the, yeah, the vineyard. So they're gonna go do that, I think, maybe, potentially. So, 8 PM-ish here for some D&D tomorrow. I shall see you beautiful people then. But have a really good Wednesday, guys, and I shall see you tomorrow night. Bye bye. Mwah.